all we have done is ever still to do. This is Ashwapati's argument to the Divine Mother. Ashwapati has climbed all the way up to the transcendental realm. She is coming from the opposite side, from the absolute, and they are meeting on the threshold mind. She knows the purpose of Ashwapati's going to her, and she advises him to let things happen in the due course of time. He need not make any unnecessary haste. Things will be taken care of. That is the kind of sober advice she is giving to Ashwapati. But Ashwapati is not going to listen to it. He is not going to accept what she is advising, to be patient, to allow things to be worked out in the flow of time. He has a grudge, and he argues that, look, through the ages, through the centuries, through the yugas, eon after eon, we have been attempting to do the things which should happen, which should be here in this world, but they are not happening. So he has a grudge, and he is sort of complaining to her that if we allow things to happen the way they are happening, they will not even happen. The force of time, the strength of opposition here is such that those might get swallowed up also. Therefore, Ashwapati makes a powerful plea. He tells to her, he argues with her, he asks questions to her. How long shall our spirits battle with the night? How long shall we bear the yoke of death, of ignorance, of fate, of mortality? How long? How long shall the doom sit on our souls? We have been bearing it since the beginning of this creation, and there doesn't seem to be any immediate hope of that going away, and therefore in our how long shall our spirits battle with the night? If he is doing her work here, that is what she was telling him, that you do my work here. He is doing her work here. Then he asks her, he puts a counter proposal, that why can't a ray of light from your sun break not here? Why can't the divine light enter into this creation? If I am doing your work, what prevents it happening? The divine light coming and entering into this creation. Why can't a brighter dawn appear in the earthly skies? Why can't? Through the ages, long centuries of anguish and grief and sorrow and suffering and pain, through the ages of darkness, through the ages of ignorance, the working of fate, the power of death denying the God possibilities here. Why is it that your power does not appear here? Why is it that a ray of your sun does not break here? There is something which is holding back. There seems to be something wanting here. Our effort has all along been an effort meeting failure, meeting frustration, and there is no victory in sight. How long shall we wait for success? If there are gods helping us, we do not see any of their work being done here. Yes, gods are there. Maybe they give us a push here and there, but we do not see any of their work appearing here in this creation. Why? What is the reason for that? The power of inconscience here is such that it looks as though the gods also become ineffective. We have been doing the same thing again and again for centuries and centuries, but all the time what we meet is failure. There is no success at all to our efforts. It is the same story repeated again and again, endlessly. How long shall our souls battle with the night? This sad enigma of this creation, that there is God and He seems to be sort of helpless here in this creation. That is the sad enigma. Can that enigma be resolved? It cannot be resolved if things had to go in the normal process of time. The force of time is not adequate to meet the antagonism that is present in time itself. Something else has to happen. If the enigma has to be resolved, then in time a higher power, the divine power herself, must enter in. Power, divine power. That is the only thing we can solve the riddle of this world. Yes, we can do certain things, but our strength, what is our strength after all? Too weak. It cannot achieve anything worthwhile. It has no strength, really speaking. The world is hard. The world is cruel. The world is dreadful. And our strength is inadequate to meet the harshness of this world. It is difficult to change the world. We cannot change the world with our strength. It is only when the divine power, Ashwapati tells the Divine Mother, it is only when you shall send a power of yourself in this creation that there is hope, that things can change here. So he compels the Divine Mother to take mortal birth in this creation in order to solve the enigma of this creation. There is life, but life constantly meeting death. That is the enigma. In the divine creation, how can it be? That is the enigma. That enigma can be solved if the Divine Mother herself takes a mortal birth here and removes death to free life to move in her greatness in this world here. Then only the divine life here would become possible. The world is not ready. She has to come down here and prepare the necessary place for it. If things had to happen here, if the divine creation has to materialize here, it is imperative that the Divine Mother takes a mortal birth here. That is the thrust of Ashwapati's argument. And when he says, all we have done is ever still to do, it is that argument which is driving him to invoke the incarnation of the Supreme Shakti in the mortal world here.